Everything explained in this video is summarized from the CoinMarketCap. And also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for future XRP news and some other cryptocurrency news in general. No SEC appeal expected in Ripple case as judge hands down fines. With each new development, the case has caused shockwaves to spread throughout the industry, influencing the sentiment of investors and possibly redrawing the regulatory landscape with its implications. The epic saga seemed to have reached its conclusion at this point. Concerning the next steps, the CCSCC case has dealt a significant and decisive blow as a result of a recent ruling by a federal judge. Ripple was ordered to pay a penalty of $125 million by the judge, which is a significant reduction from the initial demand of $2 billion made by the agency. Although the Securities and Exchange Commission has not publicly conceded defeat, the consensus among legal experts is that it is highly improbable that the agency will file an appeal. From the beginning of the case in the year 2020, it has been an up and down trip. A partial victory for Ripple in July 2023, which declared that XRP is not a security when it is sold on exchanges, provided a glimmer of optimism for the cryptocurrency industry. On the other hand, until this most recent chapter, the complete picture remained elusive. Using the penalty and injunction that was imposed against future violations of securities law, the Securities and Exchange Commission has attempted to portray the conclusion as a victory. The tone of the agency, on the other hand, gives the impression that it is resignedly accepting defeat rather than sending out a rallying cry for further conflict. On the opposite side of the ring, Ripple celebrated the ruling as a resounding triumph, a monument to the rule of law, according to CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Ripple was among the companies that celebrated the decision. Stuart Alderoty, Chief Legal Officer, expressed his relief that the court had rejected the extravagant financial demands made by the Securities and Exchange Commission and that there were no claims of fraud. The second news causes Ripple XRP to experience a massive rally. Following the announcement that the SEC may be willing to give up its position, the cryptocurrency market as a whole has responded with enthusiasm. A more favorable regulatory environment for digital assets has been anticipated by investors, which has led to a jump in the price of XRP. Caution is still required, even though the attention is now shifting to the potential repercussions that this landmark verdict could have on the cryptocurrency industry. It is still possible for the SEC to contest the decision that was made in July 2023 that partially supported Ripple. Nevertheless, the breakthrough that took place today is of critical importance in the continuous conflict that exists between regulators and the Bitcoin industry. While the Securities and Exchange Commission did not succeed in obtaining the full breadth of its initial requests, the penalty and injunction that were issued reflect a partial victory for the agency. Furthermore, despite the large reduction in the punishment, Ripple is still subject to injunction that prohibits future violations of securities law, which restricts the company's ability to operate freely. The importance of this. The probable decision of the Securities and Exchange Commission to not appeal the judge's verdict in the Ripple case is noteworthy because it establishes a key precedent for the regulation of cryptocurrencies, increasing investor trust and stabilizing the cryptocurrency market while clarifying legal rules for digital assets might be accomplished by the reduction of the penalty in the judgment that XRP is not a security for trading purposes. There is a possibility that Ripple and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission have not yet reached the end of their legal dispute around XRP. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, believes that the Securities and Exchange Commission may still seek an appeal, even though a key verdict has been issued that has the potential to reshape the landscape of cryptocurrency regulation. His remarks, which were expressed during a recent interview, demonstrate a profound level of doubt regarding the steps taken by the SEC and call into question the rationale of the regulators' continuous approach to cases involving cryptocurrencies. Clo of Ripple critiquing the strategy of the SEC, Alderoty emphasized his confidence in the conclusion that XRP is not a security during his interview. This decision has the potential to establish a precedent for how digital assets are handled inside the legal system of the United States. He did, however, imply that the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC might continue to pursue the subject further, even though there are clear indicators that the case ought to be concluded. If the SEC were a rational actor, they should just move on from this case. Alderoty said, pointing out that the court found no victims or damages related to Ripple's operations. If their actions were rational, they would just move on. Adding there are no allegations of fraud. He emphasized that the case does not match with the primary goal of the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is to safeguard investors throughout the entirety of the case. Al-Garoutai was critical of the sex litigation approach. He accused the regulator of engaging in litigation gamesmanship and tactics rather than truly applying the law. His comments highlight a more widespread fear inside the cryptocurrency business, which is that the Securities and Exchange Commission was taking a hostile attitude toward digital assets, frequently without clear legal grounds. An appeal is something that Ripple is anticipating. Despite the undeniable success of Ripple, Al-Durrati continues to exercise excessive caution. He underlined that the actions taken by the SEC in the cryptocurrency area have not always been sensible, which raises the potential that the regulator may still consider appealing the decision. I wouldn't be surprised if the SEC does appeal, he observed, pointing out that the agency has a history of taking strong legal action in the cryptocurrency industry. In addition, Al-Durrati confirmed that the existing verdict on XRP is unchangeable, regardless of whether or not an appeal is filed. XRP's status as not a security in the secondary market trading of XRP as not security transactions, that is the law of the land. He asserted that is the law of the land. Therefore, an appeal would not result in a modification to this legal precedent. According to him, the fact that appellate courts reverse decisions made by lower courts fewer than 10% of the time is a statistical fact that lends credence to his position of trust. Throughout the interview, Al-Durrati called into question the priorities of the Securities and Exchange Commission, implying that the regulator is deviating from its mandate to safeguard investors. An expanded mission of the SEC inquired about instead of pursuing what he referred to as a baseless case against Ripple. Al-Durrati suggested that the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States ought to concentrate on cases in which there is actual harm to investors or the market. As Al-Durrati reflected on the SEC's track record in the case, he stated this case was an overreach from the very beginning to avoid engaging in what he considers to be pointless litigation that does not contribute to the protection of investors. He asked the regulatory body to revert to its primary objective. Al-Durrati's views have a strong resonance within the larger cryptocurrency community, which has frequently voiced its disapproval of the Securities and Exchange Commission sector what it considers to be stringent regulation. The possibility of an appeal by the SEC could raise questions about the existing legal standing of XRP, which would be uncomfortable for investors and the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. A successful appeal by the Securities and Exchange Commission could result in a reversal or modification of the verdict, which would then make Ripple's victory only temporary. If an appeal is filed, regulatory clarification for XRP will be delayed. The information that has been provided is not intended to be trading advice. There is no responsibility for any investments that are made based on the information that is provided on this page. Before making any decision about investments, we strongly advise conducting independent research and consulting with a knowledgeable professional.